Make it clear you're my everything.
Another thing is, like, do you believe in, like, time shit? Like, as in, like, do you believe in time as a concept? But, like, do you believe in, like, breakfast food can only be, like, in the morning? Or is it, like, just whenever you wake up, or it don't matter?
I mean, breakfast for dinner hits. Other than that, I just typically prefer lunch, so when I wake up, I have a lunch. I was more of a lunch and dinner guy.
Yeah. Well,
But you kind of like for breakfast for dinner, whenever like the occasion you have it, like hits different.
morning, afternoon, or evening, either way, the Getaway podcast always hits you. Welcome, everybody. I'm Chubbs, the big man himself, the longsword enthusiast. I'm joined by my co-host, Skelly.
I'm black.
All right. Welcome, everybody. I'm really excited today. I feel like we got another banger like the Nosferatu one.
Yeah, bro, what about season video games, bro?
That actually was a good one. That was like funny enough because that one was like a last minute like what do we talk about, and that one actually I feel like was pretty good, which I uploaded today. Because we record on Mondays, and what we do is we keep a backlog kind of thing to where it's just like we record on Monday while also uploading the previous
backlog of one video.
one video. Shut up. See,
Crazy backlog we have. We're one video ahead.
we're one video ahead.
In this 1 week, you're fucked.
The great thing about it is we fuck up 1 week and it doesn't like it's fine. Fucking, but yeah. So our oppressive backlog. But yeah. So probably should have asked this before we hit the record button on it. But I was gonna ask like, are you gonna try like do this like a non-spoiler thing, or because here's what I was thinking about it. Since like this is like the sequel, I feel like we should just go at it as how we want, because it's like if we're talking about the second game, you should already been playing the fucking first game if you're watching
I
this.
was gonna say we can still yeah, but like they still might be where we are. We can just do it like we do to the interview with a vampire, where you talk about like basic at the beginning there first, and then you get more into specifics.
All right. That's a good one then. All right. Anyway, so let's get into it.
First of all, we can talk about like kind of the like differences between the first and second game in terms of like gameplay.
Yeah. So, the first game has like a style of like kind of like story like intertwining with like the gameplay aspect, where you're a peasant, you're a commoner, you're a little nobody, and so like you're just weak, like it's like in crazy weak, so weak that like when I went to go play, he had to warn me, hey man, if you're expecting like this whole night fantasy thing, you're gonna wait a while for that one. And the game does a good job, I think, of like beating that into you,
Yeah.
And we'll go through like we would like the previous thing, but like for me, I remember you go through like the tutorial pretty much where it's like a good thing of showing you how weak you are, and a big difference between me and you. As soon as the captain was available to train, I had a whole arc of me being weaker, fucking up parries, him hitting me. And it was like 3 days of that until finally I was getting slowly better to where I was starting to beat him. And it was like a very like nice experience. And I remember I went, did you do that? It was like a fun thing. And your response was, oh no, I got a hammer out in the woods.
I learned the hard way.
This is in the second game, so I want to bring this up. It's a very small thing. Because it's also like a funny thing is the barber at the bathhouse in the first game. I gave my hand like a more like a soldier look for like nights, like a bald with a beard. I asked you, and I think you grabbed the Viking cut or something.
Yeah,
but I do miss that for in the second game.
They're adding a barber.
Oh, they are? Oh shit.
Yeah, I saw on like that like a roadmap whatever. They said we're gonna add barbers back to it.
Cause there was a barber NPC, and I was like, I can't do anything. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, so it's gonna get added back to.
Anyway. But pretty much, like, it's, like, just a long dredge of, like, if you want to level this up, you have to do it, So, like, if you want to get better at sneaking, you have to sneak, and you're going to suck for a while. If you want to get better at lockpicking, you have to lockpick, and you're going to suck for a while.
For my Final Fantasy fans, it's like Final Fantasy 2's leveling system.
Skelly's been playing a lot of Final Fantasy.
Which everyone hates.
So, for the podcast losers, my bad, listeners, holy shit. Skelly's been playing through the Final Fantasies.
Yeah, I'm on 4.
So, he's a loser. But yeah, so but
Where did you
like
just walk to and from, by the way? The library, nerd.
okay, man. You work out your muscles. I work out the biggest muscle of all, the brain. I say reading my fucking Game of Thrones book. Anyway, but yeah, like again, like another hype moment in the first game is that first siege where like I remember how that's still probably one of my major gaming moments. Of just the hours it took to get decent at sword fighting to fight that guy, and I remember the euphoria I felt, just like I'm that guy now. I remember I asked you, and you're like, oh, I shot him. Just again, I was like, this game is how
Yeah,
different it is.
the first bandit
Yeah,
guys. I cheesed him. I shot him in the face.
yeah, I had a whole ass duel, but yeah, a lot of that is like how the first game is, and for the most part, uh, combat is it's simple. It's like the like how some games are. It's like it's simple to learn, but like it's like a little more harder to master, I would say. But like most of the time, it's just gonna be parry a block or master strike them, and they'll probably block, and that's about as far as one's combat will go. But I feel like I pretty much touched on good enough. Unless you want to pick up anything from me on the first game.
Um, okay. One of the things is like the combat is more simplified in the second game, and it like helps you a lot more. Like the perfect blocks that you post in the first game, you had to eye that shit yourself. And this symbols pop up to help you, like to
Yeah.
tell you when to do it. And usually, if you were like really, hardcore, like it's worse now, it's easier. I think it works with the lore of the first game, which is Henry having to rise up from a Penstar warrior, so it's super hard. And then this game, now Henry's a warrior, so combat's naturally
Like
easier.
a
So I
second
actually think it
nature.
really fits.
Yeah.
I think it really fits with the lore like of it. So I really like it actually for like LARPing reasons of I'm glad
I
because we talked before the game came out. We were like, I wonder if they'll make the combat easier or something because I don't want it to be just like the first game because it'll feel like my Henry didn't progress at all.
yeah.
But no, it does feel like
I was
your
worried
Henry's
about
gotten a
it.
lot better.
I was worried about it where I won't say call away for that spoiler part, but the thing happens where Henry is where it makes me think where I'm like, oh, are they gonna regress me?
The
But
fall.
yeah, the fall. But no, it doesn't. So thank God for that. I mean, obviously, it's like you're not like as you were in the final of the game, but like um. But yeah, like to touch on combat, especially in the second one, I I like fighting these games. I really like combat. I also love dueling. Like I did all the tournaments of the whole DLC in the first game. Um,
I love killing people dirtily.
and they really have really changed these AI. Not going on the quest one, just basic ones. I in the first game, it felt like commoner is whatever. A bandit was like your next hurdle, and an actual knight or soldier was kind of like, all right, shit. But like that was the way it goes. Here, it does feel like a mixture of everyone having different skills and like actually having something more to combat. Because I was
You'll
trying.
run into the most broken peasant sometimes that fucking guard blood breaks your everything though.
So I had been tweeting about this, but like I was like for a while I was like, God dang. So the way they change it is this one. They can do combos, and I don't think they can do all the combos we have. I just think they had like the simple ones. 'Cause I have been hit by them, and they can match strike, and then they can also repose back, and so it does make combat like more intense and everything. But for a while, I was starting to run into guys who are like block, 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 repose, and I was like, God dang,
They also
man.
have like unbreakables, like
So
unblockables too. Sometimes like that
so
red shield can
I had to
give
relearn
you a fight.
combat, and I remembered the first. I didn't use this a lot. I remember, but I relearned how to do feints, and feints changed the game. Now, does it mean I'm guaranteed to hit all the time? No, because sometimes I'll read the Sarah Barriston guy. For the most part, if you actually get these feints plus the perks, you can like get past that defense. So like it made it a little bit better for me. Obviously, you can also like bait out an attack, but for, and also I learned how to like I remember how to dodge. Which for the most part I don't do too much, but sometimes, especially with the red shield, I have to. But
I've never dodged in my life. I stand there like a wall.
But
I think I literally have a perk where that gives me a bonus if I don't dodge or run in combat.
But I really like combat in the same game. But like, man, sometimes they'll throw like you'll fight two guys that are like they're like decent level, and then you'll get a guy with no armor compared to him, and he's just dodging everything you throw at him. I'll tell the story quickly. The Thunderstone quest, right? Before I had to load, like the previous save, before I had to load and fix the bullshit I did, when I was killing him, the first guard that found me was an old man. He had a gray-white beard. He was old. I saw it. Old. He had
the civilians or the bandit camp you go to?
The last one, the village, the chick.
Yeah.
So, guard, all right, old dude. He has a sword on his hilt and a shield. He doesn't equip any of it. He starts throwing fists at me. I throw one and he ducks it and uppercuts me. And I was like, all right, fuck that. And I pull out my long sword, thinking he'll pull it out and we'll be on my ground. I'm almost embarrassed to admit this. He didn't pull out any of his fucking weapons. And he starts beating the shit out of me. I throw a swipe, he dodges, taps me, dodges again, uppercuts me, and he is Mike Tyson boxing my ass. I was like, what? I throw 8 strikes, he dodges and bobs and weaves each single one. He strikes me again. I get mad, I clinch him, and I start really having to play to my strengths to even get that old man. I fought the whole guard regiment. I fought the 3 of those guys at a time. The one old man that used his fists only was the hardest out of all of them. So again, sometimes this game will throw you the weirdest guy who's like the best. Like I was recording one time where I was clearing out guard garrison, and one old man with no plate, who looked like he was wearing like his basic stuff, was a really good like duelist. So again, I really like the combat in the second game.
My Henry's getting raped right now.
Hot. But I will say another thing here. First of all, perks. Way better.
Perks in the first game honestly kind of sucked for the most part. Like they would barely it was like some of them were good, but most of them were like I felt like almost like the 0.2% to this attack. And it was like a lot of them are just worthless, are very specific to where like you'd barely ever use them. So like it was like okay.
There's a lot of good perks in this game.
But this game, I actually just feel like a lot better perks.
I also feel like you can actually go for builds here. Like in the first game, I feel like it really came down to like, do I want to use a sword or like axe or mace? Like I didn't see a benefit of anything else. But here, there's so many like different I don't know about like I don't really any of their weapons too much. But in swords, there's whole ass perks and like things for like depending on what sword type you're using. So like there's actually a lot there's a whole perk thing that goes together to where you grab like a saber and you wear light armor and you're super light and you're dodging. It gives you a lot of stats to play that style. Obviously, I'm going longsword knight, so all my stuff is for heavy armor and fighting and dueling. But I do like that you can kind of build your Henry that way.
Yeah.
I will say.
I haven't seen a saber, but that would be cool.
I want to get a saber because it sounds cool and I have a perk for it. Because I had like a good bleeding perk for it. I also grabbed Arm Beowulf. I'll be honest, I'm not going to use that perk because it's just you get a shield. But like it's the benefit of using a longsword and a shield is just that everything about your stats get a little slower, but you can just use a shield now. And I'm like, I don't want to use a shield.
I have the one use one-handed sword, you get like a buff. But one-handed weapon, so I use that a lot.
Yeah, but yeah, while staying on perks and segueing here, I want to point out before I say this. I have almost the Houndmaster perk tree maxed out, alright? I have it almost maxed out. Now, for coming into this podcast, I thought me and you were going to really disagree here. Because for most of my time, I was like, must have been a helpful little guy.
Worthless.
Lately, I had a session recently. He was not no help at fucking all. And at one point, I was just going, Mutt, please, bite him. Mutt, sick him.
I got this, dude, sick him, watch him look at the guy for 10 seconds and then run away. It's like, what?
Now, in the first game, Mutt was essential. He was the GOAT. He would stop things from going
He also
too
did
bad.
it, like, automatically. Like, you didn't really have to say sick him. He just kind of did it.
Yeah, he did. But in the second game, it's like, yo, Mutt, what happened, buddy? So, I mean, like, again, I don't think he's like never having your party now. Like, every now and then he'll help
I
me.
he said him all. He pissed me off that moment.
But like, God, he's a little dumb.
Like,
Horses.
I will say, I think the Warhorse's biggest like weakness is programming AI and then like their game. AI is so wonky sometimes.
Dude, my horse said like I didn't die, so I didn't get too mad, but I was starting to get pissed off when my horse was being like dumb
It
during
kicks you off.
anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you fucking asshole.
Hmm.
But yeah, but for the most part, I like all that shit. Um, Also, I gotta talk about this guy. It's so different that I in the future I'm gonna do a whole bandit playthrough. Crime and just punishment of crime. Where now there's a whole like actual like every time you get caught, you go through like a cutscene of like the
It's
stock.
been expanded essentially because in
Yeah.
the first game you could become a sort of like I've said this before. There's a point in town I was so hated that I had to pay anyone to talk to me. Like if I wanted to talk to someone, it was like you have to pay them 60 groschen for them to even speak to me. And I didn't mean they liked me. I just mean they would speak to like deal with me. So like the first game had these, and you could get arrested, of course. But arrested was essentially you get put in jail, and there was like a time pass, and you got debuffed. Even for murder, I think I got arrested for murder in the first game. It was like a week or something.
Yeah. But so like here like there was punishment and you get stockades. There's whipping.
Arcade, whipping,
There's branded,
branding,
and then
and
there's
hanging.
hanging. Now, I was thinking, oh, maybe it's like goes to each one, and then you hit your limit. But it actually goes off how severe that crime is. Depends on how much they skip. Because I had not been arrested at all, so I didn't get no stock of whipping. After that butchery in the town, they skipped everything, and went straight to branding because I was a dirty murderer. So, but it is like a fun thing, and like I don't know, like I'm gonna assume it goes off like the bailiff of the area because what I did in the second part, the trainer guy who I guess is like the only law there, like was the guy from my cutscene. I was like, that's cool. Also, the brand is kind of cool, but the brand has a lot of negatives that comes with it. Nobody wants to talk to you.
I actually gotta get branded because I have a perk just for it, and I haven't just done it yet.
Nobody wants to talk to you. Anyone that talks to you is super nervous, and certain traders will straight up not deal with you. And like, also guards will be like borderline hostile. Like Brandon, you got to be
They
like,
already do that with me. I get searched because I'm literally known as a thief. So like I get randomly searched like I'm a black man in the 1920s.
so like, I was like,
You
Brandon.
saw this? If I'm in a house, I'm like sleeping or something. They'll check their chest. People will check their chest and shit. Like I'm known as a thief.
So I would say Brandon will work if you're going off like the playthrough for it, but if you're going for like this like just simple night thing, like you're Brandon, bro, prepared for like everyone to treat like shit. But I think you can get like a perk that like it fades over time. But
They fade either way, but they take longer. There's a perk where they fade quicker and it makes you more threatening, so people get scared.
yeah. So but yeah, so like I really like it. Also, because like Harry like will go like, God damn it, why'd I do that? Um, Again, another thing I really like, I'll play Warhorse here. I love like the world feels alive, especially in two, but in one especially as well. Like where like people comment on me. Like I remember the first game, the greatest feeling ever is when you start off. People were kind of like whatever with you. They don't give you too much mind. They give you like basic stuff. But after like when you start getting actual armor and you're doing like actual night quests, everyone greets you with a Sir Knight, Your Honor, Your Knight. Like it's like oh,
It's
you know.
also like it's funny how they react. Like even if you whistle, which is just your horse, which and most things would just be a mechanic that like isn't actually part of the old like overworld. You know what I mean? In this game, people react to you whistling, like knock it off, don't catcall me, stuff like that. Like people get mad, or you can use it to distract people.
Yeah. Also, your dog will get like interacted with a lot. Like either people
Fuck that dog.
if people like dogs, they'll be like, "Oh, little doggy, good master." And then some people be like, "Get the fuck out of here."
That dog sabotaged me so much at the Thunderstone Bandits area, bro. Like, fuck him.
Oh yeah. he. So like I don't know if you caught Mutt, but Mutt has animations for like being around when you're not doing too much, like drinking from straw and shit. If he does it too much, the guards will actually ask you to call him because he's disturbing the village. I had that happen 3 times, and they're like, "Call your Mutt," and I was like, "What's he doing?" And I saw him drinking out of the washing stuff. I was like, "Mutt." So
no, I mean that.
but yeah, so like it's just like stuff like that. I'll put like for most part I'm like this is back and forth, but like I'll put this over the first game is random events. I've enjoyed. I stop every single time I get a chance.
And I've only gotten fights, bro. Like, I do not get these ones you've got.
I do. They're all great.
I got the Riddler guy. Besides that, I just get normal fights from the first
What's wrong with Riddler?
I killed him.
You
I solved his riddle and I fucking murdered him.
So you remember that you got where the noble who was prisoner, he was begging?
Yeah.
I got a follow up to that, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
I beg you, Paul, because I invested money into him.
Yeah, he pays you back, but like that's just a cool thing where it makes the world, I don't know, feel alive. Also, like I've met some strange ass people. But again, sometimes I meet people where like I met a German, like a couple of Germans, like soldiers, and they only spoke German. But piecing together what they were talking about, he was asking me to duel, and so we dueled, and afterwards he gave me money, and I was like, that's cool. And I met like a guy who's like a supporter of Sigismund, so I challenged him to a duel, and he was like old knight again, like just like really nice encounters that they build upon the world. I won't lie, some of the NPCs have oblivion moments which are just funny, which is like where like I'm literally killing people like fighting, and a woman will walk in and go, "Oh my god, who killed them?" I'm like, "Bitch." I saw a video today where it's so funny. A guy who was running on the road past a person, and he's like, "Good morning," and he's running, and then behind him, his horse was just following him, running as well. So there's some funny moments. Again, all around, I really like it. But your reputation, like, you feel it, because, like, really helping people out, they're all, like, really nice, they'll, contribute to you, they'll, like, ask nice. But I got the experience, you're alive for a minute, shit sucks. No innkeeper would let me sleep with them. Nobody was, like, telling me shit I need to know. They were all rude. It sucks. But, oh yeah, group fights are so much better. Like in the first game, if like I'm fighting 2 more extra guys than my one, I'm like I might lose here. It was like a little key with the thing of like run super far away, get a bow shot, run bow shot, like use tree, like it was like cheese as you can in a group fight. It's like Joe over. In this game, I like 3 to 4 guys, I'm like, I can do this. It's about when it hits 8 to 9, where I'm like, this will start getting a little bad. But which I 1v 20, so that may feel like a god. It was rough. I was 1% health though. Because again, it's still a group fight. There's too many, and if you stand still, they will surround you. And then
it's fine if like they're doing normal stuff, because they would do way more in this, where they like play more cautiously and like you do like one-on-one almost, but like when they like start surrounding you and do like all attack, it don't matter if you can block from the side and shit.
So my thing is, if it's like 2 to 3 guys, the AI for me seems like they'll just stay like within your range to where you can block any of them. You still gotta be smart, but when they start getting too many, the AI will start surrounding you, and it seems like the program for when they know they are behind you, they will start striking with them, and you can only block if like it's a reasonable looking distance. If they're behind you, you can't block them, so you'll just get a free hit on you.
Yeah, so you'll start getting jumped again.
So when it comes to group fights, you have to kind of be like looking around you and keeping an eye on. And I'll be honest, I play like Braun from Game of Thrones, where I'm like using terrain, and I'm like I'll like kind of strafe around the one guy so they keep behind him, you know.
You ain't like Braun, bro. I'm like Braun.
But I like using terrain.
I stab dudes in their sleep. I poison them. I do fucked up shit. Can you poison your blade? I want to do that.
I've done it.
Because you mentioned the one guy doing it in the first game, so I was like, I kind of want to do that.
Yeah, I've had color poison. I don't use it too much, but like I use
have a lot of poison on me.
I used it for one guy who was annoying to fight, and then I used it. I used it on a raid on a camp because I was like, this might be challenging.
Yeah, I have a lot of poison on me, so I might as well use it.
Yeah. Certain poisons are like stronger on blades than others. Like some are just better for drinking, as in them drinking it. Uh,
Yeah, I've been there.
but yeah, but like yeah, I want to talk about this. I don't think there's a quest to it. Like I think it's like one of those things when the innkeepers just tell you something. That it's not a quest. It's just you check it out. There's a
A lot of
town.
people go and shit too. So like,
What?
like part of what you said about like being alive, you like just like spawn people. A lot of them have like
Oh yeah,
shit going on.
yeah. A lot of them had like. Also, thank you for bringing it up the gossip thing. Like I really love listening on like them talking because I remember when I was a kid, Oblivion had this, but not like this. Honestly, it was the hello, they're going to the church today, and it was like that. But as a kid, I was like, whoa. But here they sound first of all they sound like they're actually having the conversation, not like it's cutting lines, you know. And they're talking about like they literally will reference like they'll reference quests, obviously they'll reference like their actual like secrets and shit. Like you actually like will hear like, the ongoings of the region and the town, and it's really good. Also, they have like their own schedule, which is nice.
Yeah.
Which serial killer here over here knows.
I mean, I talking about the guy like they were literally. Like, I thought it was almost a mission where like a guy met up with them and talking about like, hey, we don't talk about this here. Yeah, I'll be there. Like they talk about like almost sounds like quest, but I don't think it leads to actually anything.
But
like, it's interesting.
so I talked to an innkeeper in the second part of the game, and he told me about this like town that had soldiers that were that just they left and the soldiers took it. So I went there and they're all hostile. I think they were Sigismund. And it's like I want to say there was like 25 soldiers in that camp, at least 25, and that those guys pulled pretty much all of them, except for like a couple that are sleeping during the day. That was probably the hardest fight of my life, where I actually had to use potions mid combat, which you can only do if you have a pouch like I do. So I was drinking all the potions I had, and I was really playing tough. And that was when Mutt was not helping. Mutt was like fucking up too much. Where I was like, oh my god, Mutt. And afterwards I got in the camp, but like it didn't feel good. After winning it, it felt good, but during it, I was like, fuck. Also, I've been using the pistol. That shit sucks.
I told you.
I've been doing it point blank, and it's not killing anything. I dead ass am probably gonna drop that shit and equip some other weapon.
I used the pistol once, and it was the second part when that was a talking to innkeeper. Imagines like a guy that like beat up a prostitute. That was like a former Sigmund soldier where he's staying. So I went there and I just blew him away with the pistol, and that's the only time I ever used it.
But yeah,
And honestly, I got killed twice doing like trying to do that because fucking shit fucking up.
yeah.
Yeah, first I ran up too close to him. I forgot you have to like do the whole like animation of lighting it, so like that takes a long time.
You walked up like, here you go, motherfucker. Starts arming you. Pistol.
And once they start hitting, like, if you're like that, like there's like no chance once they get like you on that. Like you don't have a chance to pull out a weapon or anything. They're just fucking you at that point.
I also like I don't know how I like the second game. There's a lot of perks and like combos for unarmed where it looks like you could probably actually do an unarmed playthrough and it wouldn't be actually like cock and ball torture.
Well, it would be fighting armor. Trust me, because I have a lot of the unarmed perks, bro. And I tell you, like, let's fight an armor guy because I did this in the first game, but fighting an armor guy, it feels like it almost takes even longer because you don't even get as many clinches.
Well, when you're fighting an armor guy, you'd probably have to like do the chokehold combo, which I learned in the middle of a fight.
I don't think you can choke. I don't know if you can do that.
I've tried. Well, he wasn't like wearing full plate. They had like half armor.
Like I used to choke literally immediately on the one Thunderstone guy, like the Tomlin guy. I literally is when I first tried it out. I just did it immediately on him because he's like, I've never lost, and I just immediately clinched him and did it.
Yeah. But I was in a tavern. Two guys recognized me from a camp, and he was like, "You fucker!" And so they started like fighting me, and like they were armored, so like it was just like, and I was wearing cloth, so like it was really good and bad. And in the middle of the fight, I got an on perk. I got the chokehold, so I clinched, grabbed it, and choked him out. And I was like, "Oh shit!" So They were wearing armor, but like not like full like good gear. It was like mercenary shit. So I don't know, but they do get like a lot of perks, like 3+4+ for like if you're fighting people with like swords and other like all that. Like again, the perks like does like you can dead ass do builds here that are like really interesting. But yeah. Another thing, I like blacksmithing. I generally actually do find crafting stuff like enjoyable.
In the first game, I did alchemy more. In this game, I feel like I've done blacksmithing more than alchemy. I haven't really done alchemy at all.
But yeah,
In the first game, I did good bit, especially with, I feel like if I'm right, save snaps were way more expensive in the first game. I feel like they were like $100 at least.
I think they were. I remember
Like,
hunting a lot.
I remember they were more expensive enough to where I was like, I'm just gonna fucking make them, bro.
Yeah. It's funny is in the first game I was a big hunter. I hunted a lot. I don't hunt at all in this game. I'll be honest, I should be doing like jobs. I should be doing sell sword
I
stuff.
mean, I steal enough stuff that I have money all the time.
Well,
I still have like a stash for my horse. Not like I'm fine.
which by the way, I finally really, like recently had replaced my the lion crest armor, the bushwhack armor. The only thing I couldn't replace is the gauntlets. So none's beaten the gauntlets so far.
Yeah, I still like haven't really seen anything, at least from like enemies, because I don't buy stuff really. That's been like better than it.
Well, after clearing out like soldier enemies and a couple like the soldier enemies had like a good number of gear to where I was like, oh, this is gonna actually good. Plus sometimes if you get some damage, it won't have like true stats, so like that could fuck with you. But I think I only bought like one armor item. The rest like I got from the soldier. Like, oh, this is good. But yeah, so that was like. Plus I got the medieval helmet. I always think is like cool. But yeah. Also, like going to combat in the first game, I only used combos and stuff for the tourneys. I didn't use them in real thing. I use combos quite frequently now because of how better it makes combat for me. I've been using knee strike and also the poke in the eyes because I had a guy in full like good plate and I was not getting to him. So I did the combo where I just poked him in the eye because his face cover was up and it one shotted him. So that was cool. Another difference between us, I should point out, I am a big longsword guy. That's my main weapon. He uses hammers. Because enemies with plate will take a little longer
I
for
love
me.
hammer, bro.
And he hammers.
It's like 3 hits kills people. Like my hammer kills people in like 3 hits. Well, sword, it's like I just don't feel like I'm rewarded enough. Like I'll do like 8 master strikes, boom, 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 and it's like he's still fine. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, and then it goes so long, I start getting hit. I'm like, fuck this, bro. Like, if I had a hammer, you'd be dead.
I love the new menu system. It looks cool. I also I love the outfits. I'd be making outfits.
I know. I just been my Bismarck shit.
I
had a thief outfit, but I think I had to drop it at some point, so I have to get more clothes.
Yeah, again, I just been sucked in. Honestly, I really love this game. And it's funny is that we've been really praising and talking how much we love this game. Don't get me wrong, it'll get you. And sadly,
it's just like one where it has Mega Kino name throwing some parts that are abysmal dog shit.
It has stuff to where you literally just go cinema. This is peak gaming, and then you're like, like an hour later you'll be like, this is the worst game I ever played. I've heard this man go, fuck yeah, that was good. And then like an hour later he's like, dog shit game. This game fucking so you can't make anything good, huh? It's so bad. But yeah,
we can get into spoilers now.
I was gonna say like I think we're ready, right?
Yeah.
Before we get into it, I want to say I love Kingdom Come 1 and 2. I really recommend experiencing it for yourself, especially the first game. I know some people have been skipping ahead, and it's your thing, but the first game has a really great story. I love the Mercenary DLC. I really recommend experiencing that for the first time. And then also,
I'm the one that got him into it, by the way, and I bought him the game, by the way.
All right, yeah, you did. But in the second game, I also recommend experiencing yourself. But other than that, spoilers. We're Henry again, and we're gay. Yeah,
porn.
we'll probably get in that in a minute, but
I'm not touching the culture war shit,
you're
bro. It
not
doesn't deserve to be discussed.
okay. All
It
right,
doesn't deserve a single bit of attention.
all right then.
Just
Um,
know there's a retarded culture war going on, and those people should actually dumb themselves in the head. If something ever happens to you watching this and you're part of that culture war, I unironically want you to put a gun in your mouth and blow your brains out. Like it would unironically serve the world better. With you being gone, your family would be happier too. No one loves you.
so Henry and Hans are on a mission. Do you want me to cut that
Yeah,
out?
you can keep it in, bro.
Okay.
I don't know if you two might not like that, but
In Minecraft.
no, in real life.
Shut the fuck up. But yeah. Anyway, it's like pretty much when King Kong ends, it's pretty much falling right up there. It's you're on your mission from Honach and Radzig, and I think they did a pretty good start. It really fucking gets you because like they start you off already boosted, so like you feel pretty good. You're training with Hans, like the like I actually like the like little band. Like I liked them for a little bit that you got to know them. And then
The 5 seconds.
like they all had like a little charming thing where I was like, oh, I like to get to know these guys, and then immediately it was over.
Again, I do think it's funny that Hans has a gay romance option, considering the whole game starts with him being horny for women that gets you into all this. Like, I just take it more of a like he's a he'll fuck anything type horny, but it is funny that all the troubles we get into is because he's trying to fuck a woman, and then it's like a gay romance option.
Yeah, so eventually bandits attack the camp, killing everyone in the camp besides you and Hans, and you guys have to run into these rocks to get away.
The first annoying part of the game.
Yeah.
Because how were you supposed to know Hans went that way?
Yeah, I went through pretty fine because I besides the fucking 5 restarts because I kept trying to take a guy's gear because I thought I was that guy. But yeah, eventually you get to a door where you fall off a rock and that's where Henry gets really injured.
After you lose your levels, blah blah blah. It's like the standard RPG needs a reason for you to be base levels.
Yeah, so. Which I was kind of like afraid, like, oh, we going back to weak state. Which Henry's weak state in Kingdom 2 is like a strong state for one. Like you have like some essential.
Yeah, the combat's already in general easier and shit. So like you're pretty fine.
Yeah. But yeah, the intro was pretty good. It sets up like the story where you see your visions and it's a little reminder of like what's going on. And eventually, after some close calls and helping, what's her name? The little lady.
Or some shit. It's Poheva or some shit.
Yeah. Eventually you and Han set out to the first town, and it does a little tile scene which I like, and I was all charming. And you get there, and it's funny. It's because at this point, right? I love Hans because Hans he had a cool thing in one, and they somehow brought it back to again where in the beginning of the game you end up going, "What the fuck, dude?" Because you get to a tavern, and to pay off, you don't have money. You guys lost everything, so you look like vagabonds. So to pay off your little debt, you have to do some work, which is carrying sacks and then clearing out the WoW house. So you tell Hans, let's do some work, let's get out there. And Hans deadass hits you with a no. You can do that, buddy. And I was like, you're not going to help me? So about 3 stacks in, Hans starts a fight where a whole tavern brawl breaks out and you guys get caught by the guards. And you get put into the stockades for the whole night as Hans just gets mad and starts bitching, and you have a choice to decide if you want to like calm him down or just tell him to go fuck himself. But yeah, eventually after that, Hans fucks off, and that's where the game fully, I would say, starts for you, to where you can start doing your thing. And but pretty much, by the way, your whole thing is to deliver a message to Sir Otto of the Trotsky Castle to try to convince him to switch sides, pretty much, because he's currently like aligned with Suzumon. Anyway, moving on to little things that were tied with like bullshit and spoiler territory. I'll start this because this is a bug, and this like again, just like the first game, there's a couple of bugs like god damn it.
It's a pretty buggy game, yeah.
Yeah.
It's janky. It's it's really an expanded version of the first game.
Yeah. So I'm gonna like again, I'm not gonna go like the whole thing, like, how you get to somewhere. I'm just gonna skip ahead to like the probably the first like goal the game gives you right there, the wedding. Obviously there's like tutorial how you get there. Anyway, I went to the blacksmith. Anyway, my wedding experience kind of sucked because I had a bug to where when I went to the wedding, it skipped everything, and I skipped right into like just like the last cutscene where you're hitting something, and it cut to the next part. So I had to actually get Skilly to stream it for me so I could see what the fuck happened at the wedding.
Yeah, he had a bunch of issues there.
It was really bad. I also had like another quest bug that I was actually interested in. And I had to just do another ending for it, which sucked. So I had 2 bugs back to back there, and it was annoying. Um, and then the wedding is how you end up at Atrocity Castle, right?
What?
After the wedding is how you end up at Atrocity Castle because they imprison you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you started the fight.
So the bailiff imprison you. You get basic, starting a brawl and stuff, and that's your stuff, and you just gotta work it off. Hans, however, who's a big hunter, had been poaching, and for the serious crime of poaching, you're gonna die. So, now this is the one of the annoying parts of the game we're gonna go through here.
In the first game, it's essentially similar, where you have the monastery, where you have to sneak in. You can't get caught. You have to find out this person. Like, it's like this wannabe almost Hitman level of like you blend in, do all this, find your target, blah blah blah.
Now
this is that point of this game.
Yeah. Now we both didn't like this part, but it was also differently why. But I will say we both had the same like ideas that didn't go nowhere because you get so into it, you think, oh okay, all right. And so here's my game plan. I'll do the work, make them think I'm going along with it. I'll kill a priest, take his clothes, and they'll let me in. Didn't work. All right, I'll take a guard's gear, and they'll let me in. Didn't work. And I realized, oh yeah, I'm playing Kingdom Come, not Hitman. So that doesn't work. So it pretty much was doing the sack stuff, going to the blacksmith, eventually getting like a lockpick, and then like permission to enter like the courtyard to where you could start sneaking through. Now, for me, there's a big difference between us. I was killing already. I jumped the guard and took him out and took his stuff. And any guard that got in my way, I would pull out a sword and we would duel. And I remember you went all the way to Thomas without killing. Right?
Yeah, I didn't kill anyone because I was like, I figured like, I thought it would actually like fuck up them. I was like, I don't like killing these people because like, I was actually holding it to like Kingdom Come logic and not like Hitman logic, but I should have realized like, even though it's a realistic game, they fucking make it so it's like Hitman logic, to where like if you kill people, it doesn't actually matter because the game fucking they're like there's a retarded level. So like I didn't kill anyone. I snuck the whole way, and it gets annoying, like because there's like they added like the throw rock mechanic, like that every game has for stealth. And like when I tell you again, Bowie watched me. Like this isn't like I'm going crazy. It was only me. I threw a rock right by a guard 30 times at least. He didn't acknowledge it once. Like it's just glitchy like that. Those guards teleporting behind me. There's a glitch in the game where like if a guard gets mad at you for being in an area you're not supposed to be, and you speech check him and you pass, it should be like he escorts you out. But no, the AI just registers you in that place again, so he gets mad at you all over again. So it's a cycle until you fail and you have to fight or die. And if you talk him and another guard sees you, then you have to speech check that guard too. Like there's just so much bad shit. And that castle with the AI and stuff that just goes wrong, like it's very bad.
So, and I also first of all, I gave up on stealth a good bit way, and I would clear out the castle, and I could not find the entrance to Thomas because I was a dumbass and I walked past it 8 times, and eventually I failed and had to load back. Anyway, we both get to Thomas, and you have to either find or make the potion to help him. And that's where I was starting to get annoyed. Like I was kind of like, goddamn, I can't find anything. But that was getting annoyed because
you were getting mad. That's why I just told you it because I was like, oh, he's gonna actually just get pissed. Because I wasn't gonna tell you because I was like, he has to learn the way I learned.
I was trying, but like I just like the lighting sucked where I was. I couldn't read the book that well. And I was like, what do they mean?
He was getting pissed off. I just told him like what it was.
So
like,
he just told me the recipe, and I did it. I was like, fuck that. So yeah, I like Yeah, already I was a little disappointed, but also like, by the way, even in the one where I did the castle, I killed the guy's wife, but because you kind of have to pass it here,
it doesn't acknowledge anything you do, which is really again points against the game for like because the game is really well everything else is designed to be the opposite of that. So it's suddenly trying to do that shit kind of really hurts it.
Yeah, so
in that section.
And
like Kimura Happy Castle is just fine.
I will agree with Skelly here. The monastery is better than the first castle.
Yeah, because the monastery you can actually kill the dude right away if you really want to, and just cause havoc till you get arrested.
So that was bad. Anyway, again, I'll skip over whatever bullshit. But anyway, eventually you're gonna send a job to go to Samin. Now you already went to Samin before, but Samin's one of the like the local villages that has like a little keep and shit and lore, blah blah blah. And I really like Samin's thing. Now obviously it's kind of those things where eventually for the story you have to kind of meet in the middle, but it's a difference of like how certain people react and like little things like that. But pretty much Sir Otto gets ambushed before he comes back to save y'all, and he like a lot of people died in it. So he sends Henlark with you, and you guys set out to Simon to arrest the young the young Simin, not the older guy who's the Lord.
Yeah, the groom from the wedding.
Yeah. And there you're given a choice. And the whole way, it's like a nice little thing of us kind of asking what happened, and we don't know we're building this guy up. This rage, this guy's building up.
Again, and you still like again. This is still like in our mind. These are bandits. Like we don't think these are good guys. Like these are like murderers and shit. I just want that out there because this is like that's what shaped what I picked.
So again, me and Skelly always end up going different routes. So we get there. Now, mind you, I'm with Otto. I fully trust his people, or I'm like, we gotta stay on the good side. We get there, and at first, I'm like, all right, let's calm down, guys, and give us the young Samin. And Henlock was like, we'll fucking butcher you all! Give him. I'm like, yo, Henlock, keep it down. You got 11 right now.
And like Samin, like neither of these guys are willing to talk. There's no talking here.
I will say,
no, I'm not giving him up. No, there's no negotiations. No.
I will say, depending on what you pick, I'm not judging anyone for really what their pick, because like I could see definitely a reason why. First of all, Henlock is going too far already. But Samin and Gnarly are like starting off already lying and already being suspicious.
Fine. Again, this is where we think it's just bandits, and that this dude's legitimately helping murder innocent people is what everyone here thinks, and yet they're like, no, we're not giving him up.
They're also not really like explaining too well either.
It's also they're giant hypocrites because. You leave Samin, you see like the one guy you like helped them arrest hung. It's like they didn't give that guy any mercy. They didn't give him like like he was literally in the exact same situation, and they hung that dude like it was nothing. You know what I mean? Like it just shows the hypocrisy of them too. Like these guys aren't that much better in this scenario.
So he gets more angry, and eventually you'll kind of be telling everyone to calm down and tell Samin you might want to just start talking. Eventually Samin, the old man Samin, Lord Samin, I'm calling Lord Samin, I'll just call young Samin the other guy. I don't remember the kid's name. But Lord Samin eventually goes, listen, he's just a boy. Wouldn't you do anything for your son? And at that point, Henlock is like, I'm going to burn down this town and kill everyone. I need to find that boy. And that's when Gnarly, the guard, is like, we ain't going to let that happen. And that's when you're given the choice, which is either you side with Sir Otto's men and you take out Samin, or you side with Samin and defend it. And Skelly picked siding with Sir Henlock, and I sided with Lord Samin.
Well, the thing is, in my mind, it's like, one, I like, this is the Lord I'm trying to, like, convince to get to our side anyway. It's like, I don't want to make him mad. Two, at this point, I think these are literally bandits, and, like, this guy's literally a bandit who left his own wedding to go try to kill, like, innocent people. So, like, in my mind, it's, like, a very badly framed situation. It's, like... And usually you can literally watch and go. Where I was trying to do it to where we only killed the people fighting at least. And while it didn't go down that way,
I sort of like Lord Samin, and my thing, I did think they were wrong at that point for what the story was giving us. But I was like, you're going too far. And I was thinking,
you really thought you picked the wrong choice. Like you were all really conflicted.
I want to get to that too. But like, I picked it because I was thinking, all right, I'll take care of this, but I'll tell Sir Otto his men was going way too far. And I'll still see if I can like pick this up. Afterwards, the kid comes out to help you, But the kid comes out, and I'm like, you fucking asshole. And I was angry at this kid, because this kid was like, he was an asshole. But I was like, you shot with bandits, you motherfucker. But, like, Hans is kind of like, we had to stop it, I guess. Eventually, we were like, well, Sato is going to know that his man is dead and Samin is still standing. So, talking about how, like, the paths lead up, in this one, the villagers and everyone who's in the castle escort and, run away, and you still have to burn down Samin because you had to look like you did Hernlock's job. And what you tell Otto is that Hernlock was so gung-ho that he ended up burning himself alive within the fire. And Otto goes, okay. And you get like a thing, and Hans will kind of go tell you, like, let's go, Henry. And the whole ride back, it's just you and Hans, because everyone else is dead. And I remember I was like, did I make the right call? Because I was like, I know I'm supposed to, I try to be a good guy as much as I can, but I was like, I don't know if that was the right call. Then Skelly did it, so I'll let you tell your events of Samin.
Like I said, like, at this point, like, I'm like, I have to, like, I'm trying to play, so I'm like, I have to, long term, I have to side with Otto, because I'm like, this is a guy, literally the whole plot of this story is we're trying to get him to finally make an alliance with us or whatever, so I'm like, okay, I don't want to fuck this up. I literally, again, these are, not only are these, like, I think these are bandits, but these are the bandits that murdered our friends and tried to kill us. So, this isn't just, like, general bandits, I don't know what's happening. No, these are bandits that I personally have a vendetta
also,
against.
they've been terrorizing the region. Everyone tells you.
Like, and right, it's like, we find later not exactly bandits, but these are, like, still rapists and murderers that will do that to women. Like, the only reason the one even gets stopped in the beginning of the game is because that woman's on, like, their side. You find out. So these aren't actually, like, even really good guys in the truth of the matter. So, like, these are, like, guys I hate at this point. So I'm like, fuck, this dude's actually helping bands. He left his own wedding, too, which was a big part to me, was like, that's really fucked up. I was like, fuck, I need to get this dude. And again, Gnarly and this guy are being a hypocrite. They won't do it. The other guy's also going way too far, but I'm like, maybe we just kill the people we're fighting, whatever, it'll be fine. Boom. We kill the people we're fighting, I bash Gnarly and Semi's head in with a hammer. I'm like, okay. And then shit gets bad. Women are getting fucking dragged out of, like, the fucking places and strangled. The bride got her throat slit. I'm like, what the fuck?
I will say, the butchering of Samin, if you go that path, is like that. Even though I didn't play it, watching it from his stream, that was peak. Even though it's like really fucked up.
A Game of Thrones episode. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Because after defeating him, he goes, now let's burn this shit down. And you and Hans are like, hey, what the fuck?
What?
And I remember you watch it. Door opens, she gets thrown out, and he starts choking the life out of her.
Strangles her.
The bride is running, and she gets caught.
I walk up, and a guard just comes up behind her and slits her throat. I'm like, what the fuck? As I'm looking for, like, the groom guy, I find him, and then he just gets burned alive because this dude does not take any prisoners.
I really like this detail. I remember I was watching. I wasn't seeing his dialogue. Henlik finds you pretty early on in your conversation, but he doesn't reveal himself.
He's spying on you.
He's eavesdropping to see if you betray him. That's like, what the fuck?
That would be even more fucked up when you think about it, because then you have to kill everyone, and you still, like, kill most of the innocent people.
That's probably, like, the worst ending for Samin. If you do the butchery, and then at the end, you're like, wait, no.
Oopsie.
But
yeah, so everyone was dead there, and me and Hans walked back. Let's just say our walk was a lot more solemn.
Yeah, Hans, when he's running back, instead of saying, let's go, Henry, like in my thing, he goes, did we do the right thing, Henry? I will say, after watching
Skeleton, we did. Okay?
After watching his, I was like, I think I did good. I was like, actually.
Well, later on, we get some more information. You're like, oh, I got ass fucked there.
But yeah, what's fucked up is that I kept impressing Otto. Like, I kept impressing. I kept doing pretty good, and it sucks because, I bet. Oh, sorry. Eventually, Otto was like, listen, we need you guys to kind of go scout out this fort, because we need his aid of these bandits. So you go out, you set out to Fort Hans. And you get there, and
you can kind of tell it's off immediately. Like, I was like pretty quick where I was
like, it's the most obvious.
Not right here.
First of all, it's like it's like a pretty small fort. It's like they're not like that big of like a power guy.
Small fort, and they have like a shit ton of horses.
A lot of horses.
This area should have.
Like so, and so like that's like Hans immediately kind of goes, "What the hell's that?" So and also thing is the main captain Michael, he's like poking you from he's like very eager to know a lot about you, and they're all and also like another good sign is that the guards like Michael does a good job of acting like a captain guard, but all the other guards when it says patrol they don't know what they're doing, so he has to kind of like get angry. That's like a nice thing of like showing like these are not like really trained guards that know patrols and routes and shit. You know what I mean? And like how to react with nobility and pages. Eventually, if you do investigating, I think if I remember the horse guy's story is he just says he's like we took him, and Michael.
Well, like, the one guy's story is we fought bandits and we beat them and we got their horses.
Yeah, and Michael's story is that it's relatives from like their
Yeah, and they got
retainers.
relatives. So that's where you first notice. There's a notice in the stories, but there's also like a peasant where if you're down by the horses, he's like, oh, I'm gonna go collect deadwood, and you're like, what? And he's like, you want to come help me? And I was like, okay. And then you go down there. He essentially is like, something's not right here. These guys are all weird. They're gonna kill me. Blah blah blah. So like he also like that's another way for you to get more information
I will
about it.
say, I like the Samine one here. I mean, I knew someone's wrong.
And like guard comes and checks on you, and I killed that motherfucker.
Yeah. So like me and both knew it was wrong, but I was like knew something was wrong in the way where I didn't get too much information. I just enough to where I knew something was suspicious, and so me and him went back to report to Sato. I remember, didn't you find the
Yeah,
actual?
I broke into their jail and I found the original lord of the castle.
Yeah.
Well, who then fucks you over and like goes with Otto? So fuck that dude anyway.
Yeah. So but yeah, eventually you leave and you go back, and then uh, that's when you
You go back, you report it, and then they're like,
yeah.
we're gonna raid here, but you raid. Oh, where do you raid first? You go
I,
somewhere else first.
I had a stroke. Sorry. Um, wait, does Samine happen then?
Yeah, no, that's when you do Samine.
Oh, that
Samine's
yeah. I
first.
forgot to talk. My bad, everyone. But I mean, it still happens. But yes, it's you check out the fort, then you do Samine because that gets reported to you. So yeah, Samine happens, and then next up you go and do you get ready for a raid, and
And then you get Saving Private Ryan.
so on the way to it, you get ambushed. Look, I like the ambush. It really good job making how guns would feel at that time period, not knowing what it is. 'Cause it's like a loud bang. You're like, what the fuck? Pretty good. I like the duel, even though that guy was a bum. All around a good like little section, and you get captured, and while in prison at the fort, you meet the Lord, and then the man himself, Big Dickory McDickus, Isfon appears. Which we haven't really brought him up
And his
yet.
little gay boy.
Little gay boy.
Well, he's probably because you essentially think you saw him and you find out it was him when you tortured the guy.
Yeah. But yeah, Isfon appears and he pokes at you and like laughs at you, and eventually he gets Zinch, I've been calling him. He throws Isfon into the other cell because he doesn't trust Isfon that well, and eventually Eric
Well, because
comes.
we told him who he was.
Yeah.
Was because we didn't trust him because we said, hey, this is this guy, he's working for... Essentially, the twist is Isfan is working for Otto. He infiltrated this bandit camps to, like, disband them, to, like, tear them apart from the inside. Him and his little gay night boy, Eric.
Yeah, and eventually so Zinch is like, I gotta go check on the gate. You stay here is fun. So we're gonna cut real quick. Back to the wedding because I totally remember out. After the wedding, you actually cut back to the first games region, where you're seeing Godwin, who just recently been kicked out of his church by the bishop, and Radzig and Hanush gives him a mission to track down Henry and Hans because they had gone quiet for a little too long. And so Godwin goes, all right, and he sets out on his quest. And right when the Zinch in that point goes, I've been checking the gate, you cut to Godwin, who had just gotten into the region and is investigating
He
this.
says Zinch. He means the captain of the band, probably. It's Zizvek, whatever the fuck his name is. I don't know why he's saying Zinch.
Because I don't remember how it was pronounced and how it was spelled, so I'm saying Zinch because I've been calling him Zinch. But how was his name?
I think Zizvek or some shit.
Zizek? Okay. gonna call him Z. Anyway, Z, Z, Z checks out the gate, and that's where Godwin appears. Now, before you get to that, Godwin is like going through the battlefield after the ambush, and also I really like how they've done Godwin, because in the first game he's just a drunken priest to me. You know, he don't know too much about his past. He's drunk fucking priest. It's like a fun priest. Second game, he gives like, doesn't really tell you his background, but he gives like little notes here that really like, it's like, yo, what a Godwin's life like? Like, he talks about how he used to be a soldier. He knows how to handle a blade. Like, he understands war. He's good at diplomacy. Also, he has like a cool moment at the gate where when Isfan and Eric start the little rebellion, as soon as he gets distracted, he puts a dagger to his throat immediately. Like, Godwin's goated. Anyway, after helping everything, Godwin goes into cells and lets you go. After Isfan had freed the others with Eric and they ran off. Anyway, you put the fires out, and eventually everyone realized, oh, we're working for the same king. Another last thing here, I really like the take on honor in this game, and these games, I should say, because especially Henry.
There's no honor. It's war.
Yeah, I like about Henry's whole thing is like, he's like, his idea is like honor. You know, be honorable, not a coward. But the funny thing is, like,
he's also not really honorable. Like his like sense of honor isn't really honor because it's mostly just I don't run away from a fight. And it's like, dude, that's not really like.
Yeah, I like his honor because it's like he doesn't really like. It's funny, like older characters.
Where he doesn't actually even understand the original concepts of it.
Yeah, I also like older characters, like actual veterans. They understand more on like the real world, where Henry is like, he's like, this is the true king, not like. And it's funny because really, like, King Rails is kind of like a shitter.
You know, objectively, we're working for like the bad king. Like, they're both bad kings in different ways, but we're working for like the king, where like everything, the whole king will go to shit because he's weak. He just like fucks. Like, he does like a bunch of degenerate shit. He's not doing anything.
He doesn't do any like actual ruling or
like, I'm gonna take control. I'm gonna fucking do this shit.
Yeah, he doesn't do any like ruling or policies. All he does is he goes, drinks a lot, and fucks. All he does as a king. And Siegfried was like, fuck this shit, man. So Henry, like, for Siegfried, he's like, he's a traitor, he's a coward, even though the king we're fighting for is just kind of a shit king as well, but for, again, different reasons.
Yeah, so Satan is bad because he's literally slaughtering his own people for it. Like, it's ambition without control, to where you're not a good king because you don't actually give a fuck about your people. Neither is fucking other guy, but he's also weak on top of it.
Yeah, but again, his whole thing also is honor. But I'll get to him in a minute. But like, I just think it's funny because the thing is, like, in the first game, like Isfahan, right, for Sigmund and all them, he in the first game he makes bandits, gets a whole bandit thing going to weaken the lords of Lipa, okay, and they're like, that is so dishonorable, that's so cowardly shit. Z is doing the fucking same thing, but for the other king. And I just think it's a really funny thing of just like I guess the false pretense of honor. Like, there's honorable people in the thing, but like, a lot of people have like their own, I guess, code of honor, and then some who do have it either don't live long, or they kind of break out of it. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of characters will be like, yeah, I have honor, but then like you kind of like look at what they do, you're like, maybe, I guess. But I really want to bring that up because I thought that was funny. But like, also because Godwin, being old as he is, and I definitely had been through a war or two, he's really telling Henry, you know, be careful on what your path is, like what you're looking for here. Anyway, after putting out the fires, Sir Otto rose up with Isfan Toth and fuck, I forgot the bald dude's name. He's from Austria. Agnes? Bald with the mustache?
I forget his name. But he's like the Prague guy. He's the guy because you're down in the first game.
Yeah, but he's probably like the militia of the Prague. And he rose up with all their armies, and they're like, "Well, fuck, we have a siege coming," and so you begin defending the siege. Siege was fun. It was fun doing like active defense because in the first game we did more like just plain sieging instead of like defending. But
you get raped.
Yeah, but that was fun. But yeah, they bring out a cannon, and again, another thing is I actually like how like it would be terrifying, you know, because you don't know what that is yet. Uh, but yeah, we lose and we get captured. And we get sent to Trotsky again, but this time it's, well, I guess prisoners again, but even worse prisoners. And Eastwan starts torturing you. So, the Trotsky stuff. This is like split up in two parts: the castle section and the forest. And me and him have castle. I think we're mostly the same, but like forest was a little different.
Oh, it's way easier. It's like a way easier version of what you had to do with it the first time.
So
You kill. No, I don't mind killing guards. Like I killed like a ton of guards stealthily.
So, the torture section. Me and him both hold out, but kind of again where like the story has to meet in the same place. Godwin will give up the information because he doesn't want to see Henry die. Because his mission is to make sure Henry and Hans get the fuck home. And if you hold out, you get the torture debuff because you were just tortured, so you are very weaker. But anyway, Catherine saves you, and you get geared up to go find Eastvan, but also get his orders. Castle is. I feel like they actually knew what they were doing. There's way less guards. It's at night. There's less bullshit, and they give you gear to where it's like not so bad. So like, getting to the castle was easy. Like it was pretty fine. It was good. And at a certain point, I kind of gave up on stealth anyway because like I was getting into it. And when you get to Eastfawn, I love the whole moment of Eastfawn for me. It was so good to see him. I let him grab the sword. Got one in an actual honorable duel, and we fought, and it was peak cinema. Because again, I've been wanting to kill him since the first game, and I felt so good. Also, the achievement's funny where it's like kill Isfahan finally.
I killed him dishonorably.
But yeah,
Fuck that dude.
But I like Isfahan. I also think I know where they're going because Isfahan, when you kill him, he's like telling he's giving a whole speech where we're not so different, you and I. And after killing him, not too long after, you get like a little vision of like you think it's your dad that blacksmith, and then he looks up and it's Isfahan. Like, so I just like where they're going with that. Anyway, let's skip ahead of the forest. I'll go first here, and then we'll let you go through. I get to the forest, okay? The way it works here is that Z's injured, and they kind of need you to go ahead, get the horses in the cart, so that way they can get out of there. I walk out of the forest. In 2 seconds, I have 6 guys immediately on me. I pull them back into the cave to where they're stuck to 1v1s, and I clear those guys out, no problem. Also, you get your gear back. So, I can't run because, again, I'm weaker here. And I start kind of going through the forest. And I was like, at this point, I was like feeling myself. So I was like, let's go. And I'm fighting my way through. I'm like, fuck stealth. I probably stealth killed maybe 2 guys. And for most part, it went fine until one little part where, like a good number of guys surrounded me, and I got like pretty like a little low to where I actually had to start like, all right, this is getting a little bad here. And I held up. But other than that, the forest section was pretty much fine for me. But you can go to you now.
That section sucked. That's it.
That's it.
I'd only for stealth sections already, but in a game that's janky like this with the AI and throwing 1,000 soldiers in, it just became annoying. Because again, you pretty much have to stealth. Like it's so hard to fight because you get surrounded by 8 motherfuckers immediately.
But yeah, fucking. But we get through that, and then after that, you get sent to like a new region again, and you meet up with the. I actually forgot this lord's name. Anyway, you meet up
What?
with. I forgot like the lord of that castle, the new one you go to.
I don't know. Who cares, bro?
Anyway,
We don't have to. We didn't have to recount the whole story.
I just kind of catch up to where we are. But anyway, fucking, we got out of there. We're fine, and that's
We're
pretty much.
touching the second part of the game with the second map and everything.
Yeah. But yeah, we're still playing through it. But yeah, it's been pretty fun. I also like good number of side quests as well. Like just some funny ones. Like the bard one was funny. But yeah.
I haven't done that.
But
Yeah, we're in the second part of the game now,
But it's been
which is a
key
whole nother map. but it's been really good so far. Next week will probably be another episode, part 2 of this
Kino.
shit.
Do you think by next Monday we'll have this beaten?
Hopefully.
I think so, but like some people are saying this game is like huge.
This game is long. I'm kind of like trying to get more focused on beating it right now because Avowed's coming out soon, and I have to play that too.
Yeah, I still doing side shit, which I'm kind of like I'm doing that, but I'm also like, man, I'm also downloading some other stuff. I'm like, cause at a certain point, I'm like, I feel like I'm like, usually I should be getting near done, but then I'm like, fuck this.
No, I
like,
think we're halfway. I think
yeah,
it's already halfway.
I was like, I feel like there's still like a good bit here, so we'll see. Again, I want to do as much side shit as I do, but if it starts hitting o'clock, I'll probably have to like lock in and go, all right, story shit only. But we'll see. But yeah, this is probably our longest recording actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that is mostly all I have to really say. But yeah, get the game is good until it's not, but it's mostly good. And love gay sex. Goodbye.